So in this session, we will understand what are static variables and static methods. So if you heard about this static and thing, so it's again the concept of object-oriented programming. Now let's have a class of student. So now I'm talking about static properties. So just remember there were instance variables as well. So what are instance variable? If we mention like int mm, marks is equal to 0, this is an instance variable. Okay, and simply if I want to declare a static variable, I will just write static keyword and then int mm, what should I write? User has marks. I will just write score. Just for example, this is static variable. This is static variable. Just with the name keyword static, it becomes a static variable. So you might be thinking, what's the difference? We will just come to that in a while. Now let's have a function that is method as well. Void increase marks. I should just semicolon, right? Marks plus plus, and same I will just write void increase score and write score plus plus. That is our instance variable. I will just remove all this. Now in order to access an instance variable, we have to create an object. So we have already done that before. Var student name is equal to, this is an object, and after that, if I write print and I want to print marks, then I will just simply write student one dot marks, and this score I will just do it from 10, and I will just say plus equal 10. It will just be incremented plus 10 10, so that we don't get confused. Now, okay, if I run now, it will print 0. What 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 if I want to print the score? Then let's try with the object we created, student1 dot. See, if I write dot, then score won't be accessible. It's not accessible because it's a static value, static property. To access that, we have to directly do it from the class name. That is, student is the class name, then dot, then score. See, so that's a very different approach or a different concept. You have to remember that if we want to access instance variable, then it's we have to make an object first. But if we have a static variable, then we don't have to create any object. Through the class directly, we can access the value. Okay, you have understood till now. Now, I would like to do what? I would like to access student1 dot increase marks, and I will write student1 dot increase, sorry, student spelling wrong, student1 dot increase score. Okay, and then again I will just print the values here. So I hope you know what will be the answer. It will be then 1 and 20 down here. 1 and 20. Okay. Now let's do one thing. We will create another object var student 2 is equal to student. Okay, we have a new object. Then if I write print student 2 dot marks, and then through student 2 I will do increase score. Okay, that is the static variable, but I am doing it with the second object. So I, in your mind you might think, now if I again print, if I again print the static thing, if I now print the static thing, then it should just have the score as 10 and then again 20 because it's a new object. Let's run. But you will just see the difference here. Say this marks student 2 dot marks is 0, but this student dot score is continuation. That is, from first object we did some changes, from second object we also did some changes to a static variable, but all that but there will be different objects but the value will be same. But in case of an instance variable it will again start from 0. So that is the main difference between a static and an instance variable. That is, instance variable will be called or will be initiated multiple times, but a static value will only be initialized one. Then after the same data will be fetched from the memory. At least it will be memory efficient, because most of the time we know there are some data that which won't be changed in the class. Suppose there is a student, then the college name suppose won't change, or suppose there is a bank, class bank, the name of the bank or something which is unique and won't change. So we may not want to use the memory of creating it again and again. So in that case we use the static keyword. I hope you have understood that it's just the difference that an instance variable consumes more memory because with every object it is initialized from 0, that is from the beginning, but the static will just get be continued, the same value will be continued. Now you have understood static properties, that is properties. Now it's time you understand static, um, what it's called, method. Simply just write a static keyword before a method, that's it. But if you make it static, definitely it won't be accessible through the object. So I won't suggest to change this, but I will just have static void, or you will write static string college return word, word. Okay. Now to access that, we simply have to just write print student dot college, like this. So just remember, this is not an object, we are directly accessing it through its class name. Object is this and this. These two are objects which can only access directly the instance variable or the instance methods. I will just write it here. It is instance method. This is instance method, but this is static method. So this was the logic behind the static and instance keywords. I hope you have understood and enjoyed till now. Now we are just about to end our Dart course, and after that we will directly deep dive into Flutter.